Welcome back to Behind the Vocals. This week we are joined by the one and only Matthew Tybor of The Bunny the Bear. It's an amazing episode filled with lots of chaotic stories, fun times on the road, as well as all things vocals, lyrics, and much, much more. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. This week we are joined by the one and only Mr. Matthew Tybor of The Bunny the Bear. Sir, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. The mask, man, I love it. Just cute and cuddly over there, sort of.
I know. I lost my jaw on this last tour.
Tragic
lost
accidents.
the bus. I know. It's just one thing after the next. But my jaw's somewhere. I think in Illinois or something.
Somewhere in Illinois. Is there a story behind that? Do we need to know?
Dude, I don't. It just was gone.
It just happens. Yeah.
You know, had a couple of drinks and it just disappeared.
Shit happens.
Usually I just shove it in my pocket when I rip it off on stage, but I must have put it in my pocket with the hole or something. I don't know.
Nice. Well, how are you doing, man? How's everything going?
I'm good, not bad, man. Trucking along, working on new music, you know.
Nice.
Hanging out with the family. You know, I got some downtime at home, but yeah.
Hell
How are
yeah.
you? Are you good?
I'm doing well. Doing hanging out with the family as well and doing the thing, you know, staying pretty busy.
Good. It's always
Nice.
a good thing.
Very nice. All right. Well, what I like to do to start every episode, I kind of like just to give you the floor and let you introduce yourself for those that may not know as much about you, or, you know, just to kind of get the ball rolling.
My name's Matthew Tybor. I'm the Bunny in a band called the Bunny the Bear. Been around since like 2008, so a long ass time. I run around a bunny mask screaming and throwing myself around the stage. That's about it. I mean, there's not much more to know.
Okay.
We're not for everyone, but we're amazing. So
I love it. You guys have been around for a while. I'm sure there's lots of stories, and hopefully we'll hear some of them.
oh gosh, yeah, there's a lot of stories. That's for sure. Not so much lately.
I can't wait. Hopefully we'll get a couple of them. So you said you've been around since 2008. How long have you been doing vocals?
Probably about the same time, 2007, 2008. I kind of just threw myself into it. Didn't really know what the fuck I was doing. Still don't really know what the fuck I'm doing. But yeah, I kind of just haven't started a band called the Bunny the Bear. I run around like kids' plastic bunny masks and scream, and thought it was a good idea and it wasn't too serious. But then like 2 months later, we were signed to Victory, and it was just all steam, you know, all that. I don't know. It just happened. And now 37, still wearing a bunny mask.
So how did that come about? What was like the thought process for like the band and everything? Were you just
It
like,
really
this is gonna be
wasn't
fun?
one. Nothing I really do is what I mean. I don't know if it's like the unmedicated ADHD or what, but I just have these ideas and just think they're great ideas, and I just do them. I'd like to think more times than not they are great ideas, but I don't know. I just kind of go for it, dude. There was no I don't like specifically or especially like bunnies or bears. I tried getting a pet bunny once because I was the bunny and I felt like I needed one, and it just shit all over my floor, and like tried humping my cat all day. I kept it for like a week and it was gone. So like it's not like I don't like bunnies, I don't like bears, you know, not like specifically. It just was a random thought in my brain, and it just, I don't know if it went too far or if it just is just far enough or if it's just going and flowing. I don't know. It's just happening, man. It's still going.
I mean, what, 17 years? So did something
Yeah.
right. So it had to be a good thought at this point. I mean,
I guess so. I guess so.
hell yeah.
I guess so.
And we got a hot take. Do not like bunnies or bears. So
No, not really. Not like, it's not like I don't like them. I'm just like, there's nothing like, I'm not like, oh, I love bunnies. You know what I mean? It's just not, I'm not especially fond of them.
yeah, fair enough. I had to ask. I was curious where the name come from. I was intrigued.
Everyone is. I wish I had a good story. I used to make up like crazy stories all the time. Like back in the beginning when we like first signed to Victory and shit, every interview we were doing something like that. Then there was always some like random, like intricate story with all these like twists and turns. But they were always bullshit. Like the real story is just kind of boring.
And you signed a Victory in 08?
2011.
2011.
Or 2010. So we weren't together that long. I mean, we were together for 2 years technically, but we had just started playing shows. We probably played like 5 shows before we signed a Victory.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's
Like
awesome.
we were making like bullshit and music and putting it out and doing this, but it wasn't like we weren't really doing a thing. You know what I mean? Like we were doing it, but I don't know. We kind of just literally got just thrown into, you got to play, 300 shows a year contractually and be on tour 11 months out of the year, and just went for it. Had its pros and cons. It was rough, but
So how did that work? Because that was the age where definitely like Spotify and stuff like that isn't. I mean, I don't even know if it was a thing at that point, really. If it was
I feel
infancy.
like
So how
I
did you
feel
guys?
like it. I feel like it was. I don't know. It's so weird because I see stuff all the time where I'm like, people say stuff like, "Oh, like it's from Instagram," and they'd say like the year, or like and I'm like, Instagram was around then. Like I
Yeah.
don't like it's time flies so fast, and everything just blends together, especially when you get in your like later 30s. Um, that I really don't know. I don't even know what your original question was. I kind of went off
Like
with
how
that one
did
when you
so
mentioned
you said you played
Spotify.
like 5 shows. How did the victory? How did you kind of get like fast track to victory that fast? Like
So
because
I
it's a
had
different
a fr-
era with like music. I mean, back then it was pretty much what just tour, go record a studio album, go
yeah,
to a
yeah,
studio, and then
yeah.
like tour your ass off.
Yeah, that's it. Just tour all the time. I had a friend who was managing us. He wasn't managing any of their big bands. He wasn't even like a band manager, but he's a real people person and he knows a lot of people and just is a really good talker. And he was managing us for like a week and a half. And he called me. He's like, "Hey, I got you guys in with Victory to come do a showcase for them. So we're going to Chicago next week." And I was like, "Oh, okay, let's do it." Like whatever, I guess. So
Awesome.
we drove to Chicago. We played for Tony and a few people on the team. Uh, it was a real mind fuck. It's a weird thing. Like so, like Victory, like Tony Brummel. I don't have much bad to say about him. A lot of people do, but he's a very interesting character. He's just his own personality. He's just him. He's just I don't know anyone like him. So, I mean, they literally will. You'll go there. They'll rent out like a studio space somewhere or a little small venue. You'll go set up, and then like when you're ready, you'll like make sure you're like line check shit. You don't even. And when you're like ready, they'll get there and they'll just like walk in, and they won't like say a word to you. Like they'll just all stand there. You know what I
That's
mean? And just in
awkward.
a line, like just stand there and you'll just play a couple songs. And then like it's kind of hard to read the room. It's such like a mind fuck. Um, and then like you kind of read people at ONC and they'll be reading Tony to see if he's digging it kind of thing. And then they'll just kind of be like, thanks, and just walk out. You know what I mean? That's it. You don't have a conversation, nothing. And then like we were driving like literally like an hour later or 2 hours later, driving back to the hotel, and he like hit my manager. He's like, "I'll have a contract you tomorrow. So you better sign it." You know what I mean? Like it was like that. Like it's
Wow.
just that's it. That's it. You know what I mean? He's very like down to business, and it was very like, okay, here's a contract. You better sign it fast, like that kind of thing. Like, don't be a pain in the ass about it because I'm not changing too much at all, if anything. You know what I mean? Like you know what you're signing, like either take it or don't, kind of thing. And that's really what it was. It was just so fast. This all happened in a matter of days.
The showcase days, man. I miss those. I
Yeah.
remember hearing about bands going and doing the showcases in Chicago and stuff. I don't think anybody really does that anymore, do they? Like labels don't
I
really.
don't I don't know. I mean, I have a label, and I mean, I've signed. I feel like most bands I've signed, I haven't seen perform. You know what I mean? So now I think it's more of a digital thing in general. I don't think they give a shit what you sound like live or any of that, because I think that's so irrelevant to certain styles of music and certain like groups of listeners these days. Like especially with like SoundCloud rap and that kind of shit. So like, I don't think that matters at all. I think they're looking at numbers and like how you are so on social networks, and that's it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
How okay, so I have to go ahead and pick your brain about this, especially you mentioned you have a label. So how is it doing music now compared to doing music back, 2008, 2010, 11, all that? Like is it the industry has changed drastically like you said, like there's still bands that are workhorses that are touring, a shit ton and they're staying on the road, but
Or
it's
no?
definitely more digital and the social media and like having a social presence like you're saying Instagram and stuff like that wasn't really something that was really a necessity back then that I
No,
knew
I
of.
feel like
Like
it was.
you had
Yeah.
like MySpace
We
and
were
maybe
a
Facebook.
MySpace band,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like it's so different. It's weird because we're like in kind of in a point right now, especially like as of late in the last like 2 years, where I've kind of like a year and a half where I've like rebranded and brought my wife in as a bear and shit like that, where we're kind of touring a little more than we were for years. I don't know, man. I'm still trying to figure it out. Fortunately, I have like a large enough culty following where like for years I've just kind of flown out for 3 or 4 days a month, and then just it's enough to pay my bills, and then I don't have to do anything. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but now coming back in and me being to the point where we're doing things full time again, and we're like, okay, like my wife's involved now. It's a family affair at the business. We need to kind of start growing outside of like our culty following. Like we need new listeners. Like trying to navigate that right now is just It's hard, man. It's so hard because it's that whole TikTok thing and everything. And I'm like, one, it feels cringy to me even getting into that zone. Like, it's just, I'm not, that's not, I've always been like more like punk rock, like fuck you, kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
Not like, we dance to like this. Like, it's not my energy at all, So, trying to like navigate that and figure out how to like make the band relevant in 2025 has kind of been a bitch. It hasn't been easy. So I wish I could tell you it's just drastically different. You know what I mean? I'm not a 20-year-old like cute fucking sceney dude with fucking septum piercing and girl jeans and eye makeup and just fucking playing my bass with my arms painted black. Like I can't like, you know what I mean? It's just not, it's literally, it's like, what do I do? So it's like, we have like our root fans and that's cool, but we need to like appeal to like this other thing that I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. We're working on it, man.
It's it's a huge difference. Like my old band, we doing all that. Like you said, MySpace was like the main thing. That's like where you would network a lot of times. And of course, shows, tours, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like then it started transitioning to Facebook, and that was like it. That's all you really had to worry about. And then just going to the promoters, the shows, and all the stuff, doing all that. But now it's like there's so many places, and it's good and bad. It's like really overwhelming, especially for people that have been doing it a while. Because I mean, like I said, there's two things, and now, like you said, TikTok and Instagram, and there's Threads, and then YouTube, which YouTube was around back then, but like there's more to YouTube now with like shorts and all this different stuff you can do. It's overwhelming. It's good for like algorithm. If you do hit the algorithm, you get thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of people can see your music and be exposed to your band, which is awesome. But then it's like figuring out how the hell do you get to that point?
Yeah, if you're not getting lucky, like you're just constantly putting out stuff and re-putting out the same video. And this is just for like someone like me who's just like so like I guess old school, and then I have a family and a kids and a farm to take care of and shit. And it's just like I guess it just has to become like a priority. But then it's also fitting into that like energy space. Like you gotta like be like a certain way.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm capable of doing that. You know what I mean?
It's a big learning curve. Like I love asking people on the show that have been around and like been in the music scene for a while, because it is a huge like learning curve change, like transition. Like how are we navigating now compared to back then? Mm-hmm. It's wild. The music industry is crazy now for sure. Like it's different. Okay, so 2008, 2007. What inspired you to become a vocalist? What made you decide? I'm going to get up there and do the thing, scream, sing, do all the fun stuff.
I guess, I don't know. I started out as a bassist and I played bass for years. And then, I don't know, I've always like tinkered with other instruments, like enough where I could write like a lot of our like material, but like I wouldn't want to perform it. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know, maybe just a whole like jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. It's like, what's left? I mean, I can like sing in key, but like I have like a very unique kind of Muppety voice, so it's like I'm not gonna sing in a band, you know what I mean? So it's like not really many other options, I suppose. And I think I was just aggressive, just a way more aggressive person back then. It just fit like the whole like wild, unpredictable, out of control front man throwing himself around. I think it was just maybe just the place I was at too. It wasn't like anything. It wasn't like, oh, I dream of being a screamer. You know what I mean? It wasn't. Yeah. It just. I think it just happened that way. I guess it was just what I could do.
There's so
or
many...
even at that time couldn't do. You know what I mean? I just did it. So
you mentioned the punk roots. There's a lot of like punk inspired vocalists and all that have moved up. Move up punk and the hardcore into like the different metal genres.
Well, I don't even say it in like a genre-esque way, more of like a temperament and like
just okay,
way. Like I just like didn't give a I was just reckless and just like fuck everything. So it was like I've never been into punk music, never really been into heavy music. You know what I mean? Still to this day, I don't really listen to anything too heavy. You know what I mean? I'm like a Manchester Orchestra brand new kind of dude.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I listen to a lot of like I'll listen to Mumford and Sons before I listen to something with a breakdown in it, to be honest, for the most part. So I don't know. It just, like I said, the whole thing was just kind of an accident in that aspect. And now here I am.
So. That's awesome though. That's super awesome. So You said you played a bunch of instruments, started with bass. What all can you play?
I mean, I can tinker with everything. I'm not a good drums though. I can write drums. I can write drum parts all day. I've always been doing it, but I'm terrible. I can play like one Tegan and Sarah song, man. I'm not even kidding. Like I can't. And God, I even tried doing that in like 8 years. So who knows if I can even do that? My like hand, foot, it's too much for me, man. I can't do it. I don't have that kind of coordination. I can write that shit all day. I know what it needs to sound like, what it should be doing, but I mean everything else I can tinker with. In like primary instruments,
That's awesome. Hell yeah.
enough to write material.
There you go. So are you the primary writer for the
yeah, I mean, until late. I mean, honestly, the first 5 albums, 5, 6, 7 albums, I didn't let a single person write a single instrument. It was just all my baby. It was always that way, and that's kind of why the band always kind of went through members, because I mean, I originally tried to bring in full-time members, so then I realized that like the whole point of the project was like the stuff I was writing, and like I wasn't going to bring cooks into a kitchen for no reason. So it's kind of always just been like a live touring band for at least the last like 14 years or so. And yeah, I have until, I mean, the last like with this like new era and stuff, I have a couple close friends that I do a bunch of writing and production with, which is nice because I think we've kind of went a little in a separate direction than TV normally does in some aspects. I think they've kind of helped me with a more like what's in right now sound for certain parts, blended with like TV really well. But yeah, until the last like year and a half, I've never really written with anyone.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How is it? You mentioned your wife is now in the band. How is it, having your significant other in the band performing with you and writing stuff, and how's that been going?
It's good. I mean, it's from like a closeness thing. I really enjoy it. I enjoy being around. We're around each other 24/7. I mean, that obviously has its pros and cons.
Yeah.
but as far as like artistically, she's super talented. I didn't even know she could sing until like weeks into dating. She didn't even know I was in the band or have ever heard of my band when we started dating, which was nice. And it wasn't like initially a priority. It took a while for it to even click with me. I was like, okay, I don't know why I'm not just doing this. It just makes things easy because like she's coming on some tours with me, she's staying home on some, but then I'm like every album or two I'm switching beers out, and I'm paying these dudes like this and that. Why would I not just keep this in house when I have someone who I genuinely love artistically? I love her voice. I think she's super talented and she's great. And it just made sense. So it's been great. Obviously, like there's, there's husband-wife moments, But that's it's
a cool thing to share though with her.
Yeah,
to
exactly. But I think it just makes us closer, and it's great, like just having her there, because I mean, my work day, consists of spending time with my wife, and that's great.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. That's super awesome. Okay, so as someone who's been doing vocals for a while, around 17, 18 years, how did you learn how to do vocals? Because we've kind of talked about like technology, back then and everything, and like how far everything's come. There was not a wealth of knowledge that there is now. There wasn't all these breakdowns about this and that and how to do this type of screen. It was kind of just fend for yourself and figure it out. And
the only thing that existed back then was the Zen of screaming. Melissa Krause, she's awesome. She's amazing. She's really cool. I reach out to her every couple of weeks. We chat a bit. I remember getting like the VHS. I never, like I said, ADHD, never, I learned like one or two things. Like, oh, that's cool. Never thought of it again. And I kind of just did it. I'm not a proper screamer. I've never been. I've always just screamed. And I think over time, my body's just adapted, and it's kind of maybe went in like proper techniques, like naturally, you know what I mean? But it wasn't like practiced or learned, you know what I mean? I went on tour. I had some throat coat with me. Drank a bunch of alcohol and just let my body take over. And it seems like, surprising enough, I've never had an issue with my voice. And I think I'm fortunate for that, because I've never, I've never been a proper vocalist ever. I always used to joke that I was like a complete anti-musician especially back in the party days, because we used to be partying we'd be so gone by the time we were going up on stage, for better or worse. And then it's just, I never miss a line. I'll fall off a stage and fall through 3 tables and still be screaming the whole time. It's just taken to my subconscious. It's like muscle memory. Yeah. So I think I remember like early on when we like went into heavy touring immediately. I remember like every couple of days, like having like a harsh voice and being like, oh shit, drinking some tea. But then whenever it came to going on stage, I was fine. It just came back.
Yeah.
It's always been that way with me. And I know people completely fuck their voice up. So I think my body has just like kind of like taught itself how to scream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without hurting myself.
Yeah.
Maybe because I was hurting myself in every other way. It's like we gotta at least protect one thing. It's I don't know, So I don't know.
Uh,
It's such a weird thing. People expect me to be like, yeah, I do this, I do this. I mean, there's been like tours where I'm like, okay, I do warm ups before I go on stage, I stretch this and that. But that will happen for like 5 shows, and I'll stop doing it. You know what I mean? I've never been like a consistent like I'm controlled. I have this down. Like it's never been like a workout routine. It's never been like that for me.
yeah. And it's I definitely whenever you're touring a lot and you're touring heavily, like a very consistent thing I've noticed with like vocalists and stuff like that is, maybe the first week getting into it, they'll do warm ups and stuff just to kind of get their throat
They
back
can
going.
get comfortable and they think
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I'm great. I don't
Yeah,
need that
and
shit.
it's like
You're
I
having
would
so
say
much fun,
first
yeah.
week and a half maybe, and they say after that it's like I don't have to do anything. Like it's just it's going like it's well-oiled machine. Like I'm good to go. It's warm. I'm
Mhm.
fine, and then they just
Yeah.
roll with it.
I
Barring
mean,
like getting sick or something crazy like that happening.
yeah, yeah. And I think it's like, I mean, just to be like super transparent and like open, whatever. Like I even like we're like the last year or so I've been thinking about it. And I got in touch with maybe like a year and a half ago, Melissa Cross, and we spent a little time talking, and I was just kind of talking to her about how I felt like I've always like performed after having some drinks and this and that for like almost our whole career. I went 3 years dry once where I didn't drink at all. But whatever. But I'm like, I don't feel like I've ever like properly taught myself to like scream without like partying with other people and having fun. So I was like scared about it. I'm like, I want to stop, like completely stop drinking again, because I don't drink at home. I only drink on tour. I don't drink at all at home. I don't do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was always a weird thing. I feel like, oh, it's like part of my ritual. I gotta have like 5, 6, 7 drinks before I go on stage, and then I could scream. You know what I mean? I just do become the bunny, and I'm like, I don't want to be that anymore. Like I'm changing all this other stuff over the last 4 years of my life to try to like improve myself. So we had like a talk about that, and she sent me a bunch of her videos and shit. So you ever take it all, whatever, like use these and this and that, and give me some advice. And I still to this day really haven't even fully made it through one. I just don't have the damn time. But again, like that's a thing for me too. I'm like, I feel like like, does my body subconsciously just know how to scream? Or does it take like those few drinks and like my normal ritual? Like what's going to happen next tour when I'm not drinking at all? Like I'm curious.
Yeah.
Like it's such a like now I feel like probably a lot of other vocalists who went through that have been, because I know there's plenty of vocalists who like first how many years of the band are just partying and drinking and this and that, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna become completely sober, and it's like, how's my body gonna take that? Am I gonna have to learn to do something properly? And like, am I gonna need a technique? I mean, time will tell.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I would definitely like to hear like how it goes whenever you start back and like doing everything
Yeah,
again.
yeah. I mean, I think I'm just tired. I'm just kind of tired of that, I guess. I've been changing so many other things about life. I'm like, if I don't drink at home, I don't feel like I need to get drunk to play a show or buzz. Like, I don't see like how that's relevant to the person I'm trying to become and the person I'm growing into. To be like super open, I guess. I didn't know we
Yeah.
were doing therapy here, but
There we go.
yeah, I'm just open book, like I said. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm interested to see how it goes.
I love like we kind of talked about like the resources stuff for like vocalists that have been around for a while, like the going back and not saying like dating us saying we're old or anything, but like, the ones that have been doing it not recently, they've been doing it for a while, like extensively. Andy from Plea was another one. Like he got the questions, like I have a template and everything to ask everybody. And whenever I sent them to him, he was just like, brother, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't do shit. Like I didn't do anything. I just got up there and yelled every night, 200 plus nights a year or whatever. He's like, I don't know why it worked, but it worked. I was like, hey, that's
and
still
some people
awesome.
It doesn't. It's the thing. You hear all those horror stories.
Oh,
Some of
yeah.
the biggest vocalists right now have had surgeries and other stuff in the past and had to go to like Melissa Cross or someone to like relearn how to scream properly. I think I've been super fortunate.
Yeah, some people just get lucky and I guess you figure it out like naturally, kind of like you, and it works and it doesn't hurt you and you just roll with it.
But for me, it's like certain conditions, you know what I mean? Like sound, like there are shows, you know what I mean, where I've never been an in-ear guy ever. In all these years, you would think I used in-ears. I do not. I like need to feel the room and the chaos and like this. But like there are certain times where we get a sound guy or a venue sound. And I feel like I still do that here and there, where I feel like if I can't hear myself, and I don't want to hear myself loud, but if I don't feel myself, if it's not just right, I overcompensate.
Yes.
Like I'll push.
Yep.
And that's like the worst. That's the worst. You know what I mean? I still fall into that once in a while. Like I'll get some real shit sound somewhere, or a sound guy who just sucks balls, and it'll just all go downhill from there. It's just like a natural thing. You try to overcompensate. And I feel like with proper technique, that's not something you need. So maybe that's like a downfall of being someone like me or the guy you mentioned, where it's like, oh, we just fucking do it. But then if like everything doesn't meet the conditions where you're like muscle memory remembers, you know what I mean? Everything's got to be like a certain condition for you to feel that way. I feel like for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's got, like I said, we'll see.
Huge shout out to Melissa Cross too. She's one of the ones that helped me, like her stuff, her like videos and stuff like that back in the day. Because I mean, there
She's
was
a sweetheart,
nothing,
dude. She's great.
nothing
Like I
like
said,
online. And I found that, and I was like, I watched it, and I was like, none of this makes sense to me. Like, I don't really know what the hell she's talking about. And then I went to practice, and
and it just made sense.
yeah, it kind of did. Like one thing,
it doesn't
like,
what she
while
says,
we were
and you're like, what do you
practicing,
mean?
I remember like practicing, and I was just like, it was the pencil thing. I always reference it. Just out of nowhere in my head, like while we're doing stuff, like in between song, like I was like over the pencil, and I was like, fuck it, I'll try this. And then I did it, and I was like, oh, like light bulb goes on. I was like, it all makes sense now. Like I understand what she's saying. Like gotcha. Like awesome.
No, it's also like you can use it all. And sometimes watching it, you're like, wow, I remember thinking that too. And even when I recently tried to like start watching it again, like some of the stuff she sent me on some really newer stuff, I was like, some of this just doesn't even make sense. And when you go to try, you're like, what? But once you like get it and you do it right the first time, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's really, she's been a pivotal person, I feel like, in the metal community, and people 100%. Don't realize that. And like I said, she's just overall an amazing person. I didn't know her at all a year and a half ago. I knew who she was, obviously, since, I watched her shit in 2008. You know what I mean? I just sent her a message being like, hey, like I've had these issues in the past with like my lifestyle, the way I've done things, this and that. I've been on like this whole like life cleansing, attitude cleansing like journey and like trying to become a different person. And I just sent her a huge message on Instagram, like just venting, like I'm concerned. This is my career. I need help. You know what I mean? I want to, and she immediately called me on the phone, talked to me for like an hour and a half, like asked me, you know what I mean? And like I said, still every couple of weeks I'll text her to see how she's doing. I'm like, she's just a genuine person, because awesome. Why does she give a fuck like about, you know what I mean, the bunny, like, or a little fucking like artsy fucking metal band that like is very like niche, and like we're not relevant in that sense compared to the people she works with. Why are you gonna you're gonna respond and call me, and then you're gonna send me your videos for free, like, and everything? And I'm like, hey, where can I buy? No, I'll send it to you. Like, that's just a good person, you know what I mean? That's awesome.
I've heard nothing but great things about her, and she without her, I don't really know where Metal Vocals would be now. Like she's helped so many people like over the years, and she's been doing it for what, probably over 20 at this point.
There's got to be, because I mean those videos were out when I started the band, so it's a long ass time. And I mean now in this day of like TikTok and shit, there's so many people teaching people how to scream and this and that, but I feel like all of them had to have come across her shit, or if not, they came across someone else who went off of her shit, because they use the same fucking techniques, and she made all them shits up. You know what I mean?
And props to her for coming up with that and like researching and figuring it all out so early. I mean, she put the groundwork for all of us. It's awesome. Okay, so you kind of mentioned overcompensating and pushing too much. What other early mistakes did you make when you were doing vocals?
I feel like that was probably it. I don't really know. That's definitely the most common ones.
For sure.
I feel like every problem you have doing vocals is probably from just not being in control and just going too far in some direction and not being dialed in. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, everything I think just takes restraint and like some kind of control. And it's those nights where you just feel like everything's out of control. So I'm just going to fucking scream as hard as I can just so it sounds okay. Because you're like nervous, or worried it sounds bad. Like those are always the nights for me. I don't know. I haven't had any other issues. I feel like it's the only time I've really been like, oh, my throat is not sounding too good the next day.
You're a machine. That's what it is.
We'll blame the sound guys.
We'll blame the sound guys.
It's not my fault.
Some of those house PAs, they're fun.
For sure. Especially in our earlier days, being like a band that's so heavily reliant on like tracks and stuff. Because we briefly had someone play like synth and shit live, but all the parts I write, we've always just put through tracks. And like back then, it wasn't as, there were like those few bands with like electronics, like Attack and shit, but like a lot of smaller venues we were playing early on, we'd go into venues with just like two like speakers on stands, and we're like, we need monitors and we need all like these are things that our band really heavily depends on. And they just didn't like understand it. So we had a lot of those nights where we just couldn't hear shit, and it was just all about just energy and just, if we're gonna sound like shit, we're gonna at least act like we're the Chariot, you know what I mean? So Yeah.
So you're big into performance and stage presence, right?
I suppose. I mean, I think we've been getting more into like it's never been like really theatrical for me as much as like I've always fed off of chaos. I think more in the last couple of years since in my personal life, I've kind of like let go of a lot of chaos. I feel like as of late, I've been leaning into wanting to like tinker a little more with like theatrics, and like because I mean, why don't we? Why aren't we more theatrical? I mean, we have everything for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think I've been wanting to go on that. But yeah, stage fright, it's always just been like, if we're gonna sound like shit tonight, we better be fucking just the craziest, heaviest, wackiest motherfuckers ever. And it's led to a lot of disasters and it's led to a lot of cool shit. And it's just led to a lot of black booking and like getting in trouble and you know what I mean? But that was always kind of my mindset is like I was there to destroy shit,
I love it.
back in the day. I mean, just we're talking about the origins of this thing.
I love it. Okay, so we talked about your mistakes. What about aha moment? When did it kind of start clicking for you? Was there a moment that stands out?
You know what? I couldn't tell you the tour or something, but I do fucking remember a specific show where I was on stage. It might have been in the UK with Funeral for a Friend and Escape the Fate of Amity Affliction. I think it fucking was. I was really nervous. We had been like such a fucking like raw energy, like bad behavior band. And we got this massive tour over there. And I remember our manager being like, okay, guys, no drinking before the show. You guys can each have like one shot, like right before you go on kind of thing. So I was like, how am I going to scream or perform? Like, and we're in like the Roundhouse in London. There's like so many fucking people. I'm like, oh my God, it's like a really big thing for us. I was drinking a ton of tea. I remember it was like a moment where I was like, we were about to go on stage. I snuck a second shot. I did like a double shot of Jaeger. And when I was out there, I was screaming. And I don't know if it was like the monitors that night or something, or maybe the light amount of drinking or something, but my highs just clicked. And I'll always remember it. They were just like death metal highs. And they were just coming out. It felt like nothing. It was just like wind. It was like nothing. I was just like, it was the easiest thing I ever did. And just snapped in. I don't know what did it. Until then, now I have those moments all the time where I'm like, I can tell when my voice is locked in because it just feels like butter. It's just like,
Yeah.
I'm like holding fucking highs for like 25 seconds for no reason. They're not even in that part of the song, but I'm just feeling myself. You know what I mean? I'm just like, fuck this. Like, I'm the shit. You know what I mean? Like, I still have those shows. But I remember the first time that happened. I still don't know what it is to this day, or if I was just trying to scream because I couldn't hear myself. And then I just accidentally started screaming the right way. And then I just like got stuck. And I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Couldn't activate it. Like, couldn't tell you how I do it. It just activates at this point, So, but that is something I will always remember because it was such a weird feeling. I was like, this doesn't feel like it's taking any work at all. It just came out. It's just coming out.
Hell yeah.
And it sounds good.
Hell yeah. What's the shots before the show? What do you go to?
Yeah.
Or did you go to? Sorry, I know we're.
I mean, last tour I was drinking, so I mean, it's like I'm planning on stopping again. But as of the last like 2 years, it's been maybe like year Jaeger, just because I haven't been drinking as much as far as like partying before the show. I'll just drink like right before you go on a little. I feel like the Jaeger's always been the nicest on my throat.
Yeah.
I feel like drinking Jaeger, I can scream better too than when I drink other liquors. I don't know if that's a weird thing. Maybe everyone just has their own thing where it just feels different on the throat and stuff. But I always feel like Jaeger's been really nice on the throat.
Okay, solid choice. All right, very
Yeah.
nice. Okay, so you mentioned you do a routine sometimes, maybe like a few dates on the tour or something.
Yeah, it's usually the beginning of the tour, like you said. Actually, after you said that, I'm like, that's really it. It's usually the first couple of days.
So what is your routine like, and does it change if you're sick, or do you have a routine to get ready for like the studio or one-off shows or anything like that?
No, I mean, I'll just do a couple vocal run like warm-ups, like the general run-of-the-mill shit. You know what I mean? So it's nothing every other vocalist is doing before a show. It doesn't really change when I'm sick. I mean, I probably do it more when I'm sick because I'm worried about my voice. Studio wise, same thing. I might just run a couple like vocal runs and warm ups like right before I fucking start screaming, and that's it. I don't do anything intensive at all.
Okay.
It's always just your basic warm ups and warm downs. They last a couple days, and then you forget that you're supposed to be doing them.
Hell yeah.
Not exactly for an interview that a lot of it's about vocals and the voice. I'm not exactly the best at these answers.
Oh, it's
not
awesome.
Be the direction you want, but
that's why I love this. I'm definitely like a band nerd. Like I've always loved the behind the scenes, the documentaries, the band DVDs, all that stuff. I've always liked how do they get to this point, or what are they doing, or tour, anything like behind the scenes stuff. So for me, every interview is so unique because how we all get to the point of going up there and screaming and doing the thing is different. Like how you get there is different than, like how Andy gets there, or Sean. I interviewed him recently from Out of the Breather. Like how everybody gets to where they need to be is really cool to me. To like, we all go to the same place to scream and do the aggressive vocals, but it's really cool like what we do to get there. So it's fascinating.
I've never even. I'm thinking about it. I'm like good friends with Sean. His band that he just left, his like side project thing that he was doing right before he brought back Out of the Breather, was on my label. We just recently parted ways with them after Sean was removed, like wasn't in the band anymore. But I've never talked. It's weird because I know so many other vocalists. I've never like been like, what do you do to warm up, or what do you do? I've never asked them, any of them, that. And it's kind of interesting to me too. I'm curious now.
Yeah, it's vastly different. And like shots, I hear shots a lot of times before the show. Tim from formerly Within the Ruins, he liked to have a couple shots and like a beer. And that was kind of like, this is what I do. This is how I get prepared to go do the thing. Like
it's like your ritual, and it becomes like part of like, I have to do this before I play. It's just
and
like,
some people have like a full extensive like warm up for 45 minutes, and then some just go let it rip. And to me it's fascinating like how it works and how everybody can still do their thing. Like it's really cool. Like it's a cool thing, and that's part of the beauty of it, because what we do is we can't restring our voice. We can't, do any of this. Like our instrument is on us, so like daily wear and tear in life, like affected. It's really cool, like what we have to do and how we handle it.
And I definitely see those people who are on tour. I'm like, it's like an hour before they're supposed to play, and I'm like, I gotta warm up, and I see them sitting in a corner somewhere doing their thing, and I'm always sometimes I'm like, that should be you, Matt. You're terrible. You're irresponsible. And I just, go grab a shot and get on stage. But yeah, no, it's definitely, the people there's definitely those people who are like super serious about it.
Yeah.
And with good reason, because plenty of people damage their voice super easy. So
yeah, it's easy to do if you don't do it right. Because it's not a natural thing that we're doing. Like getting up there and yelling is not something you for long periods. Rather, it's not like
you're supposed to be doing. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna pivot just a little bit. I want to ask you one of the hard hitting questions. I love asking everybody this: what is harder, being a vocalist or being a frontman? Because there is a difference in like, there's some vocalists that have like insane technique, can do all the things, right? But as far as commanding the crowd, they may lose them. They may not have that it factor, right? And then on the other side, there's some vocalists that they may not have like all the tools to do everything. They may.
I don't think it matters. Yeah, I think that's
but the crowd is hooked from like the opening note to the end. They could say anything and they'll do it. So what is harder to you, would you say?
I would think vocals would be harder for me to do than command a crowd or like perform and put on like a show.
I think that's not something that really you can teach, like having that charisma.
There's great vocalists, and I'll see them. And it comes down to, it's not only at show, that's in everything from how you present yourself and try to sell and market your shit to everything. I see amazing vocalists that have a huge amount of followers on TikTok and this and that, and then you look at their band and like you're like, oh, I don't like. This dude's an amazing vocalist, but they just don't have that factor. I watch and I see, I'm like, no, like you just don't, like from like how you perform, what you look like on stage, what you're doing, to even like how people dress and stuff. It's not like a cohesive, marketable thing. It's the same thing. Yeah. I would argue that that's way more important, especially in this day and age. Maybe it didn't used to be, but I think for like the presentation and like the show and like the energy is way more important.
Okay.
Because there's some shitty sounding fucking vocalists that are in massive bands and just are not even like that. It's just they're their own like personality, and it might not be everyone's cup of tea, but they fucking blow up because of the energy and like the, people, if you tell them how to be and how to react to you, they're going to react that way. You make them feel awkward not to, not to get down with it. So I think that's way more important. And I think it's way easier for me to like do that than scream in general.
Okay, nice. I love asking that question because that's always fun to see like which one people pick.
Well, I can go up there and sound like shit. Probably has shows where I sound like complete dog shit, whether it's me or the sound system or this or that, doesn't matter. And as long as the energy is still there, people don't give a fuck when you're in that live environment. They're feeling it. It's like the whole thing. It's not just that. You could have the worst mix of the night, and it doesn't matter if like you're performing, like it doesn't fucking matter. People are gonna feed off that energy.
And one thing I always learned was like, definitely what I hear and what you hear when we're doing vocals, like if you fuck up a part, you'll notice it right away, right? People out in the crowd, unless it's like a huge part, they're not gonna notice like a little mess up, like, or if something's off a little bit here, like you didn't hit that note exactly right, or you're
they usually don't. It's with everything too.
We're harder on ourselves about
worst
it.
critic.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
for sure. That's with everything. Drummer fucks up, as long as you're back on quick, no one catch it. The diehard fans do. Yeah. And they don't care because they're just happy to be there and just enjoying the experience. So it's like people are like, you definitely are your own worst critic when it comes to that shit.
Absolutely. Okay, so you mentioned you would bring throat coat. Did you do anything else for vocal care?
No.
Okay.
No, that was it, man. Throat coat was the OT back in the day. No what?
No tea or anything? Are you
just a throat coat tea. Like, I mean, it's tea, but that's only tea. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, recently I bought a humidifier.
Yeah.
I used it at one show and I didn't use it again, but I want to because like we had an experienced jagged from a Skylight Drive. We toured like with them like multiple tours in like 1 year, like 2 years ago or whatever. And he would always be on the humidifier. You just buy one at Walgreens before, like there's like brands now that are like Cini, Vocal Mist and shit like that. But I mean, they're all the same fucking thing. And he was always on it. And I remember Jake one night, he was up, we were driving all night. I think he might have been like, he was all stoked after a show, might have been stoned, maybe had Adderall in him or something. I don't know, because he wouldn't shut up. Like it was after he was talking this whole like 6-hour drive. I'm like, dude, you need this. I'm trying to sleep 1 and 2. You need to shut up because your voice keeps getting crackier and crackier. And he's all excited and just chit chatting all night with whoever his co-pilot was. The next day he had no voice. He couldn't even talk like this. My fucking clean singer. And our notes are fucking. Yeah, we have some fucking crazy fucking runs and notes. So nothing. Jag was like, go by. We were staying at his house that night. It was like we had a headlining like day off headline show. He's like, go buy one of these. So we went and got one. Jake literally sat behind the merch table, just working on this fucking humidifier for like 3 hours before he went on stage. He went up there, every note perfect. He had no voice all day. He was talking like this. It was the most amazing thing I ever saw in my life, and that's the only thing it could have been. Yeah, so those things I think actually work. Yeah. So I need to start using them. I might actually need to start using them if I start having issues. You know what I mean? So yeah, I do have one. I'm excited. It's for when I need it.
I got onto him from this show. I was a bunch of people had told me about it, and one like kind of went in detail, like just pretty much explaining like you drink a lot of water and stuff like that during the show. You're hydrating your voice. This just essentially gets it there quicker. Like it gets it going, like gets your throat like relaxed and everything how it needs to be. And I tried it and I was like, I'm curious. So I bought like a Vicks or whatever, just one of the normal.
Like the Vicks, like a Walgreens one kind of thing. Yeah.
And I just got one and I was like, I'll try it before recording something. And I was like, holy shit, like I actually feel a little bit of a different than doing it after, like it soothed. And I was like, okay, there's some like definitely like truth behind this.
Yeah, it saved his ass this one. Saved it. I was like dreading it all night. I'm like, oh my gosh, checking in on him every 10 minutes. Like, are we gonna sound like shit tonight? You know what I mean? Like, he had no voice. He could not say a single word. It was just, and I was like, oh my gosh, I told you, shut up, dumbass.
All right, we're gonna shift gears. Lyrics. Where do you pull from for lyrics? Do you do personal? Do you do conceptual? Do you kind of mix them? Like, what's your
always been personal? Always. Yeah, I've never done anything conceptual, like really, unless someone like paid me or hired me to do a song or like write something for them or do like a feature that they were like very specific of what they wanted me to write about. I've never went into a song saying I'm gonna write a song about this.
Yeah.
When a song, like when I'm on a roll writing and like something, I'm vibing with something, I'll generally put it on my car for like a nice long car drive, listen to the same song 40 times in a row and just whatever comes out. I never even think like, oh, this is what I'm talking about. Let me stay within like this concept. I just write and then I read it after. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's always been that way. I puke. I just puke up whatever first comes to me and whatever feels right emotionally. And I've always just been really like blunt. Like, I mean, not like writing wise. And there's a lot of like poetic shit that like is nuanced, but I've always just been really open with what I think about things or like issues I'm having, stuff from personal struggle shit to like faith or belief systems and this and that and stuff I struggle with or I just feel strongly about. And I've always just kind of written openly from the heart. I don't know. I've never went into something saying I want to write an album about this. Here's the story. Like this dude from World War II came back and he found out his wife was cheating on him and then he started drinking. And then I've never done like a concept-y kind of thing ever. It could be fun. It's just never been like something I was interested in, at least not yet. Maybe it could happen one day.
Okay.
But yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay. I always tend to lean more in personal. I've done a few conceptual things, but like I
Mhm.
definitely get it. To me, it's a little easier to like connect to, especially with screaming, like to get that emotion behind like something that is a past trauma or, you know, you've lived or, you know, whatever.
Mm.
All right.
For sure. And I always write better when I'm like not in a good place. And that's, you know, to be honest about lyrics, like that's something I noticed over the last couple of years. Like I've kind of had to change the way I go about writing lyrics a little because I've been in like a way more healthy place in my personal life since getting married and like changing a few things and stuff. And I've learned that like I used to spit out shit. Like I had so much like trauma and like issues with things and resentment and like stuff that it just came so easy to me. And I've realized over like the last like year or two, like lyrically, there's been like those songs where it hits. Like I got to be in a certain mood though. I can't just like spit out lyrics 24/7 like I used to. Now it's very like a specific place and time and energy. I got to be feeling something. I just not like, you know what I mean? It's just, it used to come so naturally. So I think that really has always been it for me. It's been like pulling out of like non-steadiness of like emotional things going on in life, you know? So I don't know.
Okay. Hell yeah. Do you have a lyricist you look up to or admire?
I mean, there's a lot of like I said, I don't really listen to like heavier stuff,
It
so
could be
like
anything.
band wise
It
like
could be
that.
any
But I
genre.
love like Manchester Orchestra stuff lyrically. I love like later brand new albums lyrically. Honestly, I mean that's both of those bands I really have like the lyrical content of. There's a lot of people. There's a dude like some of his older stuff, Dermot Kennedy. He's like not. He's like way more mainstream. He's not really rock or metal or anything like that. He's like very poppy and kind of whatever and folky sometimes. But yeah, there's a band called. Have you ever heard Daughter?
I have not.
Daughter. It's a female fronted band. You should check them out if you like from like a lyrical point of view. They're very she's very connected to like the stuff she's feeling and the way she writes is very appealing to me subconsciously for some reason. So I would definitely recommend that on like a lyrical standpoint.
Hell yeah.
But yeah,
I will definitely check them out. I listen to everything, so I'm totally down to check them out.
I like the plot in you. Landon Tours is I like their stuff a lot. Like one of the actual only like more rocky metal bands that like feel like I listen to music and lyrically I can connect with some of the stuff is them. And I think that's why I like them. I don't like too much heavy stuff, but like I really dig their shit. I think as a writer I must connect to him in some way too. So
hell yeah. All right, this next question sucks. It's hard, so I apologize. I'll warn everybody ahead of time because it is tough to pull this out of thin air. But do you have a favorite lyric? It can be someone else's or it can be one of your own. Or both if you have them ready to go.
Jesus. No, not really. Not that I could think of on the spot. I used to really love this line. I have it tattooed on my belly. And it's I speak so poorly of those I hate to fall in love with them time and again. That was Nathaniel, who is the original vocalist. Do you remember oh my god, I'm gonna have brain farts right now, even though I've been talking about this damn shit forever. I was just talking about this earlier today. Oh gosh. Oh man, you ever do this where you know what you're talking about and it just completely disappears?
Yes. It sucks.
Oh my god. I'm gonna scream right now. Give me a few minutes. I'm gonna come back to that. I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna tell you my whole story because I have a whole story for you.
We'll spin around. All right. So during that, or moving on, tips for songwriters, lyrically, patterns, flow, all that good stuff. What kind of tips do you have for those out there?
It came back to me.
Perfect.
So do you remember the Human Abstract?
Yes. Love
okay. So their original, I used to love their shit too. Their original vocalist, he's like one of those like energy fucking I'm in the desert like hippie ass dudes. He was like, you know what I mean, tripping all the time fucking. And if he had this side project, it was like really trippy, like fucking nature fucking hippie kind of music kind of shit, right? He had this like back when I was like hanging out with them and they were fucking popping off, it was from his side project and I really resonated with that line. I don't know if it was from all the shitty relationships I used to be in or what, enough to tattoo it on me, but that'll always be one of my favorite lines. I just thought it was kind of clever. Okay, I'm done now. You continue.
Okay. Tips for songwriters, lyrics, patterns, flow, writing, all that good stuff. What kind of tips do you have for them out there?
That's a tough one too, because I feel like it's so like, I don't know if like a conventional songwriter would be like, oh, you gotta do this. Like, I feel like my favorite like vocalist or anyone I actually listen to, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's usually pretty unconventional. It feels just like more of a natural thing. I mean, I think a good songwriter or a good musician knows what sounds good to them. I don't think there's really like, how do you say like, okay, you need to do this or that? Maybe I think there'd be more of an important like more of like a viable response to that if I was talking about like clean vocals or something and I was like a clean singer, like melodically you're like writing something catchy and something. But I feel for like heavier vocalists, I feel like it really is just like passion, and it kind of, if it's right, it's right. I don't know. I can't answer that. I can't
Okay.
answer that. It seems like a simple question to me, but I don't really think I don't have any means to it. I don't like follow a certain like thing. You know what I mean? I probably
Yeah.
have my own style, and I know like vocally, stylistically, I'm a little out there sometimes, and I have my own like thing going on. But it's just always just I just what sounds good to me, I think is good, and either people will hate it or not. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Hell yeah. No, I'll take it. That works. Okay. So we all know in the studio we'll write parts, and we won't necessarily always think about. I have to do these live. You know, when you're punching parts,
Oh,
doing
never.
whatever.
Yeah.
And so, do you have some parts live that you dread doing because you wrote them in the studio and you're like, shit, this sucks doing live, or not sucks, but you know, you're like, okay, I didn't think this through. I'm gonna have to like figure out where I breathe on this part. And are there parts on the other side that you really look forward to doing live? So parts you kind of dread live, parts you look forward to.
There's been a ton of those. I feel like those songs, since we have such like a large catalog of music, though, it sucks because a lot of times we put out songs, and there's been some like recently too we've put out where I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do that live, so I just avoid playing it live because we have so much to pick from. You know what I mean? We have fucking so many songs. Like we have so many albums. So I've gone for like, but there's been a lot of that where I write something, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. It's so cool, but like it's either really fast or it goes on way too long, or there's this and that, or it's like a lot of vocals I write are overlapping. So sometimes that becomes an issue. So there's been a lot of those moments. I feel like I've always just kind of avoided playing some of those live. There's a few still to this day where I think that I've just like done some weird vocal things where I go between like different styles of yelling and screaming where it just isn't natural if you do it in one take.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I do a lot of like gritty yelling, and then I do a lot of like highs and lows, but like the flow of those, like recorded, I'll do it like one way. I know, like even more so than answering, like avoiding doing a part live. I change up a lot of parts live. So like a lot of stuff recorded, I'll be doing this like gritty, harsh yelling vocal. And then live, I pretty much scream everything. I don't do any of my gritty yelling at all live, really ever, unless I'm really feeling myself. And I think I'm like, you know, it feels right for the moment.
Yeah.
So I do that a lot. We're more so like, it's not so much a part like being like hard and being hard to like replicate live, more so like the way I perform it and the voice I use.
Yeah.
I'll change up. So there's like a lot of stuff that should be like yells that I'll do highs because they're just way easier to just da 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 da, or like parts that I'll do low because that's what naturally feels better in a live setting.
Yeah.
Instead of like punching in the studio.
Okay.
So there's a lot of that. You know what I mean?
Okay. Hell yeah. So this next question is a fun question.
Mm-hmm.
It is inspired by Kyle Medina, Body Snatcher, Adam D of Killswitch, because they're known for crazy callouts. They're known for doing like off the wall mosh calls and stuff like that, just out of nowhere. Do you have a favorite call out or mosh call? And
Like
based on the
no, we don't do mosh call. We are not that kind of band. Come on. No.
Do you have anything crazy you say to the crowd, just off the wall stuff? Just kind of like, I feel like with the energy and like the chaos that you have, like I feel like you kind of have to like just say some off the wall shit, like not the typical like.
It's a weird thing I have at times, and it's always been bad stuff. You know what I mean? I've always gotten in trouble. So I've never. I'm actually a vocalist. This is a weird thing too. I don't. I mean, on and off, I'll go through periods where I'm like, I need to like do this more, but I've never been someone who talks to the audience. We just go on stage, we start, and we just play straight through. I don't talk at all.
No breaks?
Nope, nothing. We'll have interludes that play right out of things. I'll walk into the, I rarely speak to the audience. We give them the product. We give them like that. This is like where we're bringing you. Nothing. I don't bring us out of like character of like, this is like what we're feeding you. Nothing. Okay. Nothing. Once in a while, I will. If something weird is going on with like the sound, I gotta like make some stupid jokes. Usually they're freaking distasteful and I get in trouble anyways. But like the less I talk, the better. The better. Especially if things aren't going perfect. You know,
so you are in the theatrics in a little bit because you're not bringing the illusion.
Maybe clap your fucking hands or something like that. Like I'll do that once in a while if I'm really feeling it. I'm like, oh, I got these bitches by the balls. They're ready. Like let's go. Like, but that's it. I don't like, or like, let's give it up for all the bands who played tonight kind of thing. Like the general here and there. I very rarely speak. We go out there. It's dark. Show starts. It's chaos. It's done. We walk. Come say at the merch table. Bye. Thanks.
Okay.
No small talk.
Okay. So you do have a little bit of theatrics, though. You keep the illusion of it all. Like,
Oh, 100%. Like we just do it. Like I'm not gonna sit there and talk to you about shit or tell you some story that you don't want to hear or like talk to you about my politics. Like, and no one cares about none of that shit. You know what I mean?
yeah.
They
Okay.
just don't. I
Okay.
mean, some maybe there are bases who do, especially some like the real like political bands or shit like that or like whatever. I mean, I'm sure there's people like maybe like people like Falling Reverse fans want to hear Ronnie like rip on people and shit or something like that. Like people have like their own vibe and like for
Yeah.
their bases, but I don't feel like small talk is really my specialty. And I feel like anytime I try to make jokes, they just come off as like not sensitive or like mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not very good at that. I'm
Okay.
a very good, like I love talking. I'm a people person, just on stage. No, when I become the bunny,
You're all
he's
business.
not. He's a bad boy sometimes. He's just he doesn't think of it before he talks. So it's better just to shut up.
Okay. All right. Okay. The next one's a sports inspired question.
Hmm.
We've kind of talked about rituals and stuff. Do you have any pre-show or studio like superstitions or rituals of things you have to do? It can be anything from like telling the band good luck, fist bump, push-ups to have to drink a certain drink. Jaeger, for example, is
I mean,
probably
I
one.
guess. I
So
mean, yeah.
something like that. Show clothes, shoes, whatever. Like it can be
Oh,
anything.
not so much. I will. I mean, yeah. I mean, like the drinking like at times, like the shot or two before I go on will be like has become like more habit than ritual. I do walk around for like hours before I play. I go in. You'll just walk past me in a venue, and I'll just be doing that to myself. And my wife hates when I do it, and so I'm nonstop. And so there's and I think that's my only like ritual. And it's more of like a habit of like that's how I check my voice. So if I can't do that, if I can do that, I can scream.
Okay.
So that's it. That's my ritual. Is just walking around making choo-choo train noises and everyone looking at me like, "What's he doing?" I'll be talking to someone in the bus or something. I'll be mid conversation. I'll be like, "Yeah, I know, ooh, yeah," and I'll just do it, and my wife's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Like that's not acceptable. It's not acceptable." But I'm like, I have to. Like it's just what I do. Like don't understand. And I've been doing that since like 2012 or 13 when we were over in that UK tour I told you
Yeah.
about, where I was like worried about my voice because it was like the first time we weren't drinking a lot. We had to like we were playing in front of like 2,000 people a night. I was like, oh, we gotta like whatever. And I was drinking all that tea. So I would do that, and I realized I have like my false chords and I have like my highs if I can do that. I always have my lows. It's the highs I'm worried about. And if I can do that, I can scream.
Okay.
So that's like my ritual as I just walk around making that fucking noise. It pissed off the dude from Amity Affliction once. Those guys did not like us at all when we toured together. One or two of them might have, but I know like one or two of them that really didn't. And I remember the one day I was walking backstage, just doing my, just walking around. He's like, that fucking doesn't do anything, right? I was like, it does for me, okay? It does for me. I'm gonna annoy everyone. that's my ritual.
I
That's
love
it,
it.
man.
That's a new
I
one.
do got to get in a mindset too. I mean that, and like I don't like people talking to me, like 30 minutes or so before you play. Like don't ask me things or do it irritates me. I gotta like completely like get into like a mindset of like you're about to do this shit.
Yeah.
Like outside distractions, like last minute like chaos really throws me off. But that's really it, man.
Okay. I love it. All right. Do you have a favorite show that stands out to you that you've played after all these years, or tour? We can do favorite show and tour. Let's like give you a two-parter.
I don't know. I loved. We toured with Modern Self Indulgence, and that was a fucking great tour. I really enjoyed that tour. I really enjoyed the UK tour with Funeral for Frank's Kid to Fate Amity Affliction. That was awesome too, just because that was our first time overseas, and we were playing like the Roundhouse in London and
Yeah.
like all these like extravagant like O2 academies and shit. So that was like a mind fuck, and it was in such a beautiful place, like some place that wasn't like what we were used to. So like crowd wise and like overall tour experience wise, I really love those two tours. Those would probably be my two favorites.
Okay.
We've had some other really good tours that were just with really shitty bands. Like we toured with Blood on the Dance Floor, and there were a shit ton of little like teeny weeny kids who got down and loved us every night. And the shows, like our performances, I love that tour for like our sets. They were fucking some of the best we've ever played. But as a whole, I mean, it's not exactly the best experience.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Do you have a favorite place you've played, like a favorite venue or anywhere?
Roundhouse in London, that's there. I love also. There's a place in Austin. Is it Austin? Austin. We were just supposed to come and take it. Is that it? Where's the vet? Let me tell you right now, because we just had to cancel a fucking show there because of this fucking bus situation. And I always forget the name of the venue, but every time we play there, I absolutely love this place. Let me see if I can find it so I can give you an actual answer that's not incorrect. I feel like it's Come and Take It Live in Austin. If that's it, it's a really beautiful venue. Here, let's see. Pull a picture so I know. Yeah, that's it. Come and Take It Live in Austin. It's really cool looking venue, man. All the walls are like almost like log cabin wood all the way up. And it's a really big room and the sound's great. And I really enjoyed that venue. It's really nice.
Okay. Hell yeah. What about favorite bands to tour with? Are there some that stick out?
No, I feel like not relevant ones because like some of my favorite bands to tour with are like have been in like the past, like almost like local bands on like their first tours that I've just become like friends with over the years of like specific members that are like now defunct. I feel like I've had the most fun with bands like that. Escape the Fate was cool. They were great dudes. We partied and had a great time. They were really fun. There's always those guys, you know. This tour just got off of with Green Jello and shit, 96 Bitter Beings. Like certain people, I mean, until we had the bus issues, it was like people wise, they were super cool. Like I became really good friends with, like the drummer of 96 and stuff like that. Where there's like those people in each band that like, you know, every tour is like that one person you really like, oh, I'm so happy I met this person.
Yeah.
The dudes, even after all these years, the dudes in Broken Side, no matter how people feel about them, they're genuinely very awesome dudes. Every time we play with them, because we still do here and there. Once in a while, we'll have a random show where our shows get combined because I guess we fit in the same era of MySpacey. Like, oh shit, I don't know, but those are genuine, awesome dudes who I love seeing and hanging out with. They're just really kind and just really down to earth. I don't know. It's a lot of people, man.
Okay. Fair enough.
There's some bands and they're all just assholes, and then you got that one dude in the band who's just like the sweetest, nicest dude ever. And then there's like full bands who are just super kind. So I don't know. I probably could never stop naming people. I could sit there all day like thinking of like, oh, that guy was so awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of sweet dudes out there.
Okay. What about touring advice for the vocalists and for bands out there? What kind of advice can you give them whenever it comes to touring? We're just picking your brain. Shower. That's a good one.
Go to a fucking, I don't even care if you have to go to a Love's or a Pilot truck stop and spend $15 on your fucking shower. Shower every day because no one wants their smelly ass around them. And you just feel better. If you're performing every night, you feel like a new person after you shower, especially a vocalist. Like I wake up in the morning, I'm like, like I feel like shit. As soon as I shower, I feel like a whole new fucking person. I would say shower. Use Love's and Pilot. They're the best places in the world, and their showers are actually really nice.
Okay. Hell yeah.
They're good for everything, for washing up, for making love. I'm dead serious. They're just they're literally $16 hotel rooms. Okay, let's go. They're the best place. Okay, that's my hidden secret. You know what I mean?
All right, fair enough. Okay, so give us the update on the Making Love and Loves. That's a new one here.
I've done it.
Oh. All right, what's the deal with the bus? Can we get us an update on everything going on with you guys right now and the bus situation and everything that's transpiring currently for you?
Yeah, we had a 6-week tour coming up. We just had, it was coming up a few months ago. We had a bunch of dates with Green Jello, 96 Bitter Beings, Convalescence, and then we had about 7 headline dates on the Upper West Coast that were coming right off of it. My beautiful wife wanted to bring my kids with us for on the second half. She's like, I don't want to be apart for, 6 weeks is a long time, not be with your family. So we thought we'd bring them on, like make it like a family trip for the holidays, for Halloween. So I bought a fucking 35-foot Winnebago. And the last like 3 months, I spent like literally like $10,000 redoing the entire inside. There's friggin' literal tile in the showers. Like it's the real, I went hard on this thing. Somehow, it tricked me. And as soon as the tour started, everything went downhill. Within like 2 days, the friggin' generator went out. Fucking 2 days later, our brake line went out. Thank God we didn't have the kids yet. We weren't on the highway on a fucking 35-foot bus because that would have been disastrous. So it just was really rough and everything was just going wrong. And I got the thing checked out. I fixed all like the things that I knew were wrong, but it had come from Washington State. So all that snow and shit, it's like a 10-year-old unit. Low mileage, but it's been sitting in snow and salt for fucking years. So I wasn't thinking of like little things with heavy use starting to give out, like seals and shit. So
Yeah.
a bunch of shit just started going wrong. And I was like, okay, cool. So we started off this tour completely in the hole, man. I was like, I probably spent 5K in the first week fixing things. And then like a week in, our transmission started leaking. We thought it was a front seal. So we were just topping it off every like hour of driving, and we drove like a week. Every time we stop at a red light, it'd be smoke coming out because it was burning on like the muffler and shit, like on the whatever, the exhaust and shit. So we were just trucking it. And I was like, okay, we gotta fix this. So we scheduled someone on our day off in Florida before we picked up the kids. Like, we can't bring the kids in the West Coast and on mountains and shit with this thing. If something blows out, we're fucked. So I scheduled it, spent thousands of dollars for a dude to fucking fix that seal. First dude butchered it, put the transmission in crooked, used some like Chinese like part seal that was not meant like good quality. We went to leave that night. It was pouring out, way worse than before. He didn't plug in our friggin' nothing. Our RPMs weren't reading. Our gas gauge wasn't working. We couldn't even see our speed. Nothing. The whole board was out. He just completely butchered it. So scrapped by some more money. Fucking had another dude pull it down the next day for another $1,000. Brought the actual what's it called? We brought it to a dude who rebuilds some or whatever. He put a proper seal in there and re-put a new pump in there. I paid a dude to put it back up, went to leave for tour again, still leaking. So I think it's what the hell does it connect to? So I don't think it's actually the transmission at all. I think it's the converter that it connects to is leaking. But now at this point, I'm probably fucking just in like repairs, 15K in of them getting it wrong over and over. So we got to a point where I'm like, dude, we're 3 days behind on tour now. We've been stuck here trying to figure out this problem. I spent every dollar of my savings redoing this thing because like this tour was that's my whole winter. That's all my income until the new year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like between like the bus, not buying the bus, but just between repairs and me canceling shows, I'm like 25K in the hole. We had to cancel the rest of the tour. Damn. We had to drop like 17 shows or something. So right now we're just kind of in limbo. I got a huge ass fucking 35-foot RV in my fucking driveway. I don't really want to spend since I lost all this money on these shows, I don't want to spend the money to fix it because I'm like, I'm not going to do that yet. You know what I mean? So we're just kind of at like a standstill where the whole team is pretty much out of their winter income. I've spent the most, obviously. And that's really it. We made a GoFundMe. We're hoping some people helped out. We're giving away some free shirts. Person who donates the most, I'm giving something super, super special to. You won't even guess what I'm giving them. Like it's worth like thousands upon thousands. So I'm doing something no band has ever done for someone. Whoever donates the highest amount. Right now, a dude donated $1,000. He's at the top. But whoever donates the most, I'm giving them something that in the long run will be worth thousands of dollars. So I'm just trying to make some of the money back for my team because, I mean, it's the holiday season. We are out of shows. We don't have any shows to the end of December, and we're just in the hole, man. It was just a disaster. The tour was fun. It was great. Like, you know what I mean? Like our shows were fun. They were great. It really sucks we had to drop them in that aspect. But from a financial thing, it's a really big hit. Probably the biggest hit the band's ever had or I've ever had. It's just one thing led to the next, just like a whole like 3 weeks of just disaster. So we're trying to recoup from that.
And where can they go to the GoFundMe?
We have the GoFundMe link in our Instagram bio. We've posted about on Facebook a ton. So you can find a link on all of those. And yeah, I mean, if you donate $50 or more, we're sending you one of our unreleased shirts that we made for this tour. Because I also got $4,000 in merch. I got that invoice that hasn't been paid yet too, that we didn't get to sell any of it because we missed 80% of the tour. Yeah. So we're giving away some of those shirts if you donate. Like I said, the highest donation is going to get something really fucking unique and special. And yeah, we just appreciate anyone who does help because, I mean, I know everyone's tight right now. Shit's going on. People are struggling, whatever. So it's not like, oh, woe is me kind of thing. But I do have a whole team I'm responsible for. And if we could give people some merch and they feel like helping and want to help and they love the music, it'd be appreciated.
Yeah. And the link will be down below. We'll have the GoFundMe link. So if you guys want to support over the holidays, help them out, help the team out. That would be awesome. While we're on this subject, the floor is your plug. Anything and everything. Anything band related, label related, you related.
Not much more, whatever. Man. I mean, we're working on a bunch of EPs right now. We probably have like 4 or 5 EPs in the works. We've been releasing pretty consistently the last like year and a half.
Jesus.
So yeah, I've at least like 5 EPs like we're working on right now. So we're just gonna keep dropping things back to back. I'm a little behind schedule right now because of all this other bullshit going on.
Oh yeah, that is really
Yeah.
cool. And you got 4 or 5 in the works right now?
Oh, at least. Yeah, dude. I probably like 20 something unreleased songs, and I've been doing 5 song EPs. Yeah. And every like 2 or 3 days there's another song like in the train. Just
Damn.
it's weird because I mean I guess I could do like I think maybe like for like the amount of plays our newer stuff is getting and stuff, and it's like maybe a slower thing because we're not like taking a specific single and pushing it for like 6 months at a time. But I think with like where we're at with like our newer sound and the direction we're going, I just want to get out as much material as possible. You know what I mean? And kind of just flood the internet with like new music 24/7 instead of just like focusing on one single and doing a fucking big music video and this and that. I just want to get more out. I'm like at an excited point and like are the band where I'm like really digging the direction we're going. So I just want to keep pushing shit out. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll move to like more of a like a normal, like let's spend 6 months promoting like one EP kind of thing soon. I don't know, but I doubt we're gonna do like a full length again anytime soon. It's just not there's no point.
Yeah.
No one cares.
It's changed. Like kind of like we were talking about the industry has changed. That used to be the thing like what, couple singles, full length, tour, rinse repeat. Now like tension spans are so much shorter. Nobody really. I mean, there's still people that obviously like full lengths and they want to hear like a band's whole album. Like I'm not saying you don't, because I listen to full lengths, but like people will rather get to like the point, like the shorter, release an EP quicker than you can a full length. You know, like
well, I love that, and it's also like, I mean, I could release a full length quick too. It's just like what you said, attention spans suck. Fucking, I feel like if we're gonna throw shit at the wall, I'm not calling it shit because it is shit, but you know what I mean. Like, the more we throw, something's gonna stick.
Yeah.
If it does with like the new direction we're pushing, be together. All 30 of these songs could all go on the same album. Yeah. Like stylistically and like energy wise, they're all in the same like boat. You know what I mean? So I can still like give people that like product in like afterwards. Like we'll release 2 EPs. I can still put them together and then fucking put a full length out and give them something physical if that's what they want, you know, or at least something physical on Spotify where it's easier to kind of have everything together. But it's just nice putting out like a new song every couple weeks, and just like this might not be the smartest thing business wise for like trying to like build like attention on one thing because it's like fucking something news out 24/7, but I don't know, there's just a lot of stuff I want to get out there, and it's just been fun being able to give someone new. I've always enjoyed releasing stuff way more than playing live. Like I like hearing people's thoughts and like getting what I'm thinking out there and like what I'm feeling more than like performing in front of someone. That's always been my niche. I enjoy studio stuff way more, so I don't know, it's been fun. It's been different.
Desire to ever like transition just to like a studio band?
I don't think so. Just because I need the money financially. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's literally, I mean, I wish maybe like if we can get this ball like rolling where we're not just playing, like we don't just have the same culty following. I mean, we have been seeing a lot of new listeners with this new era, which is really cool, but I need more. You know what I mean? I think we need to get on some big support tours. We haven't done those in a long time, like some big ass ones, and just fucking kind of get back out there for like newer listeners. But I think if we were at the point, and that's hard too, because even we got to the point where I'm like, okay, we have a 600,000 monthlies, and like we put out music, we're like making enough stream revenue to solely survive off that. Just knowing that you can make more money just going on stage for 35 fucking minutes. That's way too like I wouldn't be able to not.
Yeah.
Like I can't say no to like something that's a good business thing.
Yeah.
Like not that like I don't know. And I say I don't really like it like more than the studio, but I think I'd miss it. I'd probably get the itch.
Yeah.
It would be nice though if we can just put it out and make money off of that. Like enough to like be like, oh fuck it, I don't need like the money from live shows or merch sales or anything. I just put out songs. That's it. Maybe, who knows? We don't know where it's going. I mean, the direction, everything has changed so much. If I'm a 50-year-old in a bunny mask still, who knows what I'll be doing at that point? You know what I mean? Either be rolling up in a wheelchair with a walker, you know, taking that shot of Jaeger and then just throwing down my walker and going ham, or you know what I mean? Maybe
that would sell so many tickets. Just imagine that bunny walking up with a walker and stuff. Sling the walker in the crowd.
Bring me my Jaeger. And I just start screaming and throw myself around just to get fucking Superman it. Yeah.
That'd be so sick though. Yeah. That would be a hell of a show.
Might happen. It seems like that might be my future, man. I'm still alive.
So you've talked about the label. How's things going? Label. How does all that work? And how did that come about? I guess is the question. After all these
It
years.
came about a couple of years ago. I just wanted to self-release a TBTV album, and I had all the connections for distribution and everything. So I'm like, why am I the same thing? Like before I started doing like this, like separate, like putting out albums with like private investors and like certain fans who like did long-term investments. Even before that, I was like, why am I doing this? Like I made all the contacts where I know people. I have distribution. I can do anything myself as long as I have a budget.
Yeah.
That a label is going to do for me for the most part. You know what I mean? Just to get so it really started like that. I started a label with the Tough Luck Music with the sole intention of just releasing TV shit by myself. Then, you know, like 2-3 years ago, I brought in a business partner. And we just kind of started branching out and signing bands. It's now we've only really signed bands that we really like genuinely like ourselves. It's not just like we haven't been like we're not like one of those label stores like this is what's in right now, so we're signing everything. Now we've been very specific with our signings. Probably only had like 7 bands on the roster in the last 3 years. You know what I mean? Flipping back and forth. And that's it. We, you know, if we see something that we like really believe in, we'll put the money behind it and back it, and we'll, you know, give you a deal better than these other labels are giving you. We give all our bands like deals that are in their favor, split wise. It's not, you know what I mean? No three. I mean, honestly, even our deals as a label, it's a different mindset. We're just kind of a label like of musicians who want to support bands that we genuinely find, and we're like, okay, we like it, or we can see the work ethic, and we want to see you succeed. It's not really for us, you know what I mean? As far as like a business side, it's probably, you know, more of a bad business decision than anything owning a label these days. But we enjoy it. I enjoy being able to help out people that I genuinely enjoy.
Yeah, and having that many like that limited amount of bands, the bands that you believe in, you obviously are going to pay more attention and like put more thought and care and love and stuff like that into them and help them more.
Yeah. And we were down now where we're looking hard too. So bands reach out. Like we had a band that I really believed in, great ass band called Glass Waves. I signed a few years ago. They had next to no monthlies, nothing. They're blowing the fuck up right now. We just finished our contract with them, and I know they have some really insanely big things in the works. So they're going to be going places. Definitely keep an eye on them. But we're at a point now where we're trying to find like that next band that we like really like. You know what I mean? The next band that we're just like, this band is doing something and you can't deny it kind of thing. So definitely hit us up on Instagram, Tough Luck Music, and I would love to check shit out regardless, you know.
Okay. And then is that the best place for bands to submit music to you? Is just through Instagram? Just
Yeah, I mean, you go to toughluckmusic.com too if you want. But
okay.
I mean, I'm always on my phone, so you can just hit me up on Instagram and be like, "Yo, check out my band." I'll listen to it.
Hell yeah. All right, there you go, bands. All right,
Yeah.
I've taken up a ton of your time, so we'll start wrapping up. What I like to do here, like you've already plugged everything, so all those descriptions and links and good stuff will be down below. So definitely go check out all that. We'll put a link for the label as well. And final question for you is advice for vocalists out there. It could be a new vocalist starting out, you know, wanting to pick up the mic. It could be someone that's been doing it for a little bit, or even a veteran. Maybe they're in a rut. What kind of advice do you have for the vocalists out there? Just kind of open, wide advice to help them along their journey.
Just be yourself. Do you? I think like worrying about what everyone else is doing and how they're doing things and other people's style and shit is like never like maybe in rare cases is like you find success in that, but I feel like generally everyone I've seen kind of like succeed in it is just doing their own thing and they're not really worried about what everyone else is doing, whether it comes to technique or anything else. I think you need to find your own voice and just do it. You know, I'm not for everyone, but the people who love my shit, and there'll be people who love it and hate it regardless. So I think just especially in this day and age where TikTok and every band's all the fucking same, you know what I mean? Like there's like you see this pattern for success. Just try to like within like doing that to be successful, try to like stay to yourself a little and do something different.
I love it. That's a huge thing that gets repeated a lot on this show is finding your own voice, being unique. You know, there's so many great vocalists out there, and it's great to pull inspiration from them and be inspired by things they do or like things or try to implement it in yours, but don't copy. Like, don't copy.
You just don't have to. You don't ever tell yourself that you have to do this. You have to sound this way.
Be the first you.
You know,
Yeah,
Yeah, just don't give a shit. Like, who cares? I mean, you could take elements from anyone you want and put them in, but it needs to feel natural. And if
yes.
it doesn't, if you feel like you're trying to like fit a certain voice, or like, you're probably not being 100% true to yourself.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Great advice. Well, Matt, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. It's been an honor. It's been a blast chatting with you.
Hell yeah.
Stoked to
I
hear all
appreciate
this plethora of music that you have.
And we have a ton of shit. That's
I
coming.
can't wait. And again, guys and gals, go support, please. The GoFundMe's down below. Help them out. It's Christmas time. Help the bunny out.
Yeah. Give the bunny a present.
Give Bunny a present. Help the bunny find the jaw. If you know where the missing jaw is.
Yeah, if you know where my jaw is, please send it to me.
Well, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
No problem. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you all so much for watching or listening to this episode of Behind the Vocals featuring Matthew Tybor of the Bunny the Bear. Please be sure to check out all the links down below to go show them some love on their socials, as well as check out Matthew's record label. And be sure to go check out the GoFundMe, and if possible, go help them out during this tough time with the holiday season approaching. Thank you all so much for watching or listening. I greatly, greatly appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys and gals on the next one.